Hello, everybody, and welcome to the DarkMatch. We are here to give you the best in professional wrestling, and I'm Subrick. I will not be your host tonight.
This is Jingus, and best of wrestling, this is the Impact Review.
And I'm DigiFox, and I still sound like the Cinema Snob.
And I'm Tifus, and I wish I sounded like the Cinema Snob. And tonight we're going to bring you something a little bit new. We're going to bring you What's Al Snow Tweeting, as read by the Ultimate Warrior. I accidentally saw my dad performing oral sex last night. I told him the blindfold wasn't tight enough. Happy birthday, Rybone.
Yeah, I think Al Snow.
Al Snow! Now,
there's several different ways you could interpret that joke, and none of them are good.
I think what really sells it as really being truly disturbing is that it was a birthday wish for somebody.
He will give the birthday wisher the best pop in history.
Worse than most furry stuff.
Anyway, get right down to it.
Onto something less disturbing, or should I say more disturbing? It's TNA Impact.
Bit of both.
It's less disturbing, but just as traumatizing.
Yeah. We start off the show by recapping something TNA isn't very fond of. We see that Kurt Angle beats Sting at the pay-per-view for the world title. Angle, post-match comments, Dixie Carter's not in control, blah, blah, blah. We cut to the opening of the show. Out comes Immortal, the very, very, very dangerous group of Bully Ray, Abyss, Gunner, and Scott Steiner.
The steroid count is off the scale.
And if anybody can do the Ann Zoidberg voice, you also need to say, and Ken Anderson.
Yeah, I'm not going to give that one.
And Ken Anderson.
Yeah, they come out and Bully Ray is all pissed off and pretty much just runs down Abyss for being a pussy. And then pretty much just turns his sights on Anderson, just starts running him down, and Anderson's just getting pissed off. Like, Anderson just has this look on his face like he's just ready to rip into whoever just looks at him wrong.
And then we get...
Wait, I came into the show a little bit late. I didn't get to start till about 10 minutes past the hour.
You were
I was
lucky.
still only halfway through this goddamn promo.
Yeah, this is how long...
Fuck, there was a lot of talking on this show.
Yeah, that's how long Anderson put up with Bully Ray's shit before the point of the segment happened. The entire point of the segment took them 20 minutes to get to.
And what was the point of that segment, you might ask?
The
point of that segment was Anderson getting kicked out of Immortal again.
Not really getting kicked out. I mean, it's not really again. This is the first time he actually joined Immortal. But friction between Bully Ray and Anderson that leads to Anderson pretty much not being an Immortal. If there's any one good thing that can come from this segment, it's that Anderson did not say a word. Yeah.
He was busted open and bled a lot.
And they carried him off in a stretcher and loaded him in an ambulance.
Yeah, and keep this, by the way...
Keep that in mind.
Keep this in mind. He was put in an ambulance. He was selling as being so... in such bad shape, he literally could not stand up. I mean, he literally could not sit up on the gurney. He tried to, and the wimpy little medics just pushed him right the fuck back down.
And they put him in.
They loaded him into the ambulance, which drove away.
Yeah, that's important.
That's important later.
Because ambulances don't say, "Oh wait, no, he's better. Let's take him back."
But yeah, anyway,
pretty sure that's not how first aid works. But we digress.
And I'm pretty sure that in this segment alone, they said the word asshole at least 15 times.
You know, there's swearing because it kind of makes sense for your character, or makes sense for the setting, or the storyline, or something like that. It's just kind of what people would say, like, if you hit your thumb with a hammer when you're trying to nail something into a wall, say, shit, or god damn it. Something really nasty and quick.
Then there's Russo swearing.
It's just shoehorned in everywhere.
It's like, take it easy, Tarantino. Scroll it back a little.
Yeah. And this isn't glorious.
We get to hear We get to hear Scott Steiner yell, "Bleed, you son of a bitch," at least 5 times.
Yeah.
Because that adds to a segment, right? Scott Steiner talking.
Yeah,
usually it does, actually, but...
In case you didn't miss it, the first 4 times, Scott Steiner is saying, "Bleed, you son of a bitch," for the benefit of those who have short attention spans.
Was it this segment where somebody, I can't remember who, was saying, "Your asshole's bleeding" over and over? Like, was it this?
What?
Am I remembering things right, or?
I don't remember that, but then
asshole.
again, I don't remember much of anything. This is the second show in a row put on by TNA where it was really easy to just start staring at a wall that wasn't even wet with paint. That was more interesting. The paint has already dried, and it's still easier to, pay attention to and get involved in that storyline than what's going on TNA.
Looking up at the ceiling fans, trying to calculate exactly how fast it's turning around.
That's exactly what I was doing, and I don't even have a ceiling fan to do that with.
Counting the tiles and shit like Rain Man.
Yeah.
But then we cut to commercial, and then we come back. We are in Eric Bishop's office, and he says, "Thank you, Bubba, for kicking Anderson out of Immortal. It was a mistake, and I'm willing to admit to my mistakes." "Yes, Eric Bischoff, you certainly are, wink, fucking wink." And then Abyss tries to walk out of there, and he says, "I'm not done with you. We need to talk." And then that's interrupted by a Madison Rain match. Yay.
No. And she comes out looking like one of the Dudley sisters.
Yeah, she's wearing this blue camo outfit thing, has Air Force, I think E2 rank on it, or E3, I think it's E3 rank on it, which I think is like senior airman. And there's no reason for it. There's like no storyline connection between her and the Air Force. There's no real life connection between her and the Air Force that I know of. I don't think that she's dating anyone in the Air Force. No, she just chose to wear Air Force wrestling gear, which is odd.
Maybe she thought that she was celebrating the Navy men who died the other day and got the ranks wrong.
Well, they were in a helicopter.
This is not the first time she's worn Air Force rank on anything, so she knows what it is. She knows where it's from, or at least someone does. But
yeah, she's supposed to be.
Here insists that her husband is in the military, so that could be it.
I didn't know she.
But then,
I didn't know that. Yeah. But still, that's kind of a weird thing to put in there because her character is not supposed to have any connection to it, and that's the kind of thing you would expect from a face.
And she's supposed to be a bit of a Black Widow type of character, anyway.
Yeah. So it's just out of.
Then we get. Yeah. And then we get some hardcore country. That fucking song. It's really a question. It's really a question of which song is worse, Killer Queen or hardcore country.
Whoa. Are you saying Killer Queen is a bad song?
Yes.
Get the fuck off my show.
Wait, what song are we talking about now? Who comes
Killer
out to
Queen?
it?
Madison Rain's entrance music.
Yeah.
Or
I think
Killer
we
Queen.
can all agree it's a good entrance song.
I don't like it. It's the scene that puts me off.
I don't know. There's remarkably few themes that I actually recognize who the hell this is that's coming out to it when I hear their music in TNA.
If you heard this song, you'd know it was Madison Rain.
And here's something about this match. This is a #1 contenders match for the Diva Knockouts title. And
Which doesn't make sense because it's the Knockouts champ.
Yeah, and wait, but didn't Mickey lose the belt to somebody last night?
Did she?
Mickey
Either
lost the belt
Angelina
to
or Winter or someone? Yeah.
She lost it to Winter because... No, she lost it to... I don't remember if it was Winter or Angelina, but Winter blew... when she misted it...
Misted
her.
Right.
Apparently it was blood that she got misted with. And despite the ref seeing the fucking blood on her face, she still lost.
But anyway, so we've got a #1 contenders match between the champion, the person who was the champion yesterday and should be getting an automatic rematch, and B, somebody who's been losing every single week for a long time now with Madison Rayne.
It's okay.
How did she earn this title shot?
It's okay, Genghis Sheik. You made enough wins on the shows you didn't see that they don't air.
Oh, yeah, they racketed up the Goldberg count.
Yeah.
Yes, there's something with this match near the end. Oh, by the way, this wasn't a particularly good match. But then again, it's a Madison Rayne match, so obviously. But
I'm getting into her shtick. Like, at one point, she did this stuff where, like, she backs away from Mickey, and she, like, just falls on the ground and starts kicking at her in this kind of flailing, hilarious kind of manner.
She's got a good character. That. She's got good character actions, like, typical, like, things that her character would do, but she still can't wrestle that well.
No.
Yeah. But there's something near the end of this match that I just immediately noticed and just made Madison come off as kind of stupid.
Is it that she lost to a girl dressed, a fully grown woman dressed like she shops on the Miley Cyrus clothing line?
No, that possibly, but the thing is that Mickey goes over and she puts on Madison's tiara and she bows, like she does like a bow or a curtsy or whatever. Madison looks at her, watches her bow, and when Mickey is bent over, she runs for a clothesline and misses.
Yeah. I get the point they were trying to do, but that's just a really tough spot to time correctly, because you basically have to wait till the girl starts bowing. You don't know when she's going to.
No, but Madison looked at Mickey and waited until she was bent all the way over and then ran.
Yeah, it was just a bad timing kind of thing. Like, it's someone that a couple people that cannot call spots.
Yeah, but then Mickey gets the DDT, wins. Mickey will now challenge for the Knockouts title. Woohoo! Kurt Angle comes. And then I love what the results say. Kurt Angle arrives at the Impact Zone, and there's music in the background that makes it sound like he's walking into a really crappy dance club. I realize why when I realize who's in the ring. Robbie E.
Drone.
Robbie E still works here?
Yeah.
Yes. Him and his guile haircut.
His hair's becoming so big it's starting to look like a reverse pyramid head.
Like, all right, dude, you've made it to at least Super Saiyan level 5 here. Tone it back a bit.
The thing is,
you think that he uses like 8 bottles of hairspray to keep that thing compact?
Mm.
No, they use the hairspray to cheat to win matches, which we'll see here in a bit.
Talk about bad timing, but we'll get to that.
God, talk about bad timing on a move.
Then, the match is Robbie E versus Brian Kendrick in a non-title match, and he's with Cookie, and imagine Cookie and Vicky Guerrero in an annoying contest.
Hey. We actually like Vicky Guerrero around here.
You may.
And with the character that they've given her, basically they've just said, be a stupid Jersey Shore whore. Be loud. Be annoying. That's all they told her to do. That's all they want out of her. She's like, okay, and she does it.
She does it pretty well.
There's not a moment in this match. When you watch the tape, there's not a moment in this match when Becky Bayless talks that it's not like screeching Melina screaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
which is intentional. I mean, you don't blame it on her. She's just doing what she was told with this shit.
And really, anything that looks remotely ethnic or a rip-off of some other very broad style or anything like that, that looks really poorly done, it's because it is poorly done, because the people telling them how to do it don't know shit about the things they're telling people to act like. That's really the bottom line of it.
This match wasn't necessarily the best either. It was Brian Kendrick, so it was okay. He's never been amazing.
Well,
the only times
this is a noteworthy match for Brian Kendrick, at least lately, just because he seems to have dropped his old "I'm going to sit in the middle of the ring and meditate" kind of bullshit.
He's not a Buddhist anymore.
He's wearing his baggy, puffy pants again, but he looks like something from. It looks sort of like someone ran Sabu's pants in the washer with bleach, and then gave him a loincloth on top of it.
I actually think it's a pretty good look for him.
It is. It's a better look than what he had.
Yeah, this weird
KKK
Jedi robe.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this match longer than the match was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hence why I'm trying to go home faster than they did.
So yeah,
the finish.
The finish is another really poorly timed spot where Robbie E's holding Kendrick by the ropes, and the referee is looking at this all happening. And Cookie gets up on the apron, takes the time to shake the hairspray can while she's up on the ropes after all this is set up, and then goes to spray him after Kendrick ducks, so she doesn't even start spraying until after Kendrick's out of the way and she's spraying Robbie E in the face.
Yeah, this was much worse timing than the previous segment you guys talked about because, Kendrick ducked like a good solid 2 or 3 seconds while she's just flailing around the can and not spraying.
And
before she gets him in the eyes.
And the really worst part about it is this happened during the match, and the ref was not distracted at all. He was watching this happen.
Yeah.
So
wasn't even
been
trying.
Successful. It should have been a DQ, but it wouldn't have been because it's TNA.
It was basically Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka. No, wait, don't.
Yeah.
Stop, don't, come back.
Yeah.
But then Robbie E and Cookie argue all the way up the ramp, and then
half of it was bleeped out,
segment.
and the other half was completely incoherent screaming, which apparently leads to them breaking up. Which is considering this is the first time
That's
they've
that's the segment after the commercial break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then we get Devon and Pope, and he tells Pope that Pope beat him straight because Devon wasn't going to take the points the way that Pope wanted to give him, and then tells him not to. He tells Pope not to double cross him, and blah 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 blah, and I don't care. And then we get Jeff and Karen Jarrett as Mexican stereotypes.
Oh. Jeff's got the poncho and the sombrera, and all he needed was a donkey. I swear to God.
This could not get more offensive if he came out with a...
Yeah, it does.
If he came out in blackface.
No, the only way this could get more offensive is if Jeff Jarrett comes out with a cart trying to sell tamales to the crowd.
But
would
it does
be more
get more
offensive
offensive.
would it be more offensive if he came out in blackface? Because I don't think it would.
It's just as bad what he's doing.
Yeah.
Although he needed a penciled-on mustache.
It's probably even worse than Mexican America.
Which, by the way, hold on to that point for the next segment. And something we missed because it was so boring and nothing worth talking about, Austin Aries was on guest commentary for the last match.
Ladies and gentlemen, TNA's ripoff of CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Just too bad because Aries is good in this part, but, you know.
If you look at how they've got his hairstyle, to how they've got him dressing, and the things he's saying, it's obvious what they're going for.
Mm.
And it's just not... It doesn't have that edge to it. It's not cool. It's not cutting edge. It just comes off as forced.
Which I think does a big disservice for Austin Aries, if you ask me.
Yeah.
See, if any of us were booking TNA, I think the thing that we would be doing, obviously, is just letting Austin Aries wrestle and not having him try and be CM Punk version 8.
I think if we were any kind of promoter with any kind of sense, we would try to do that.
And then we go to commercial, and then we come back and we hear Robbie E. and Cookie yelling at each other like two cats that were set on fire, and half of them bleached out, the other half... And the other
Yeah.
half is just the word douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think
Seriously.
we talk over each other a lot. Jesus Christ, this segment.
I'm not even
Couldn't
sure how
understand.
two of these people figured out that they were broken up because you couldn't hear one over the other.
I don't think I could make out enough words to count on both hands that was said in this. It was just incoherent screaming, half of it bleeped out.
Yeah.
The one word that I would manage to get from this whole thing that was not talked over or bleeped out was Cookie yelling at Robbie E. calling him a douchebag as the last line of the segment. Then we cut to stuff about the Bound for Glory series, and the announcers never mention it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And second guest
TNA
commentator
has
of the night.
TNA has like 8 big-lipped alligator moments an episode, so this is nothing for them.
Yeah. And for our second guest commentator tonight, we have Christopher Daniels out here for the next match, but all he does is say, "Oh, by the way, I want another match with AJ," and he takes off.
And
Now and the match itself is not, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, because none of these tag team Bound for Glory series matches have. It's the Pope and Dion versus Beer Money versus AJ Styles and Rob Van Dam.
Mm-hmm.
it's just an excuse to get more people on the show for exposure.
Yeah, and here the thing about the tag match for Bound for Glory is especially a 3-way tag. Why would you ever tag out?
Yeah.
Because if you tag out, you can't win the points. You have to be in there. I mean, it's not the team that wins, it's you. And if you are going to tag out, why tag the other third team instead of your partner who, in theory, you'd rather see get the points than anybody else?
Yeah. There's just a lot wrong with the psychology of these men. I mean, I understand what they're going for, because other promotions, WWE, WCW, both had similar kind of situations where there's like an issue with the team where whoever in the team gets the pin gets the reward, but not the other guy. And you have that friction, but you never see TNA capitalizing on that friction. And I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why have that?
Everybody, and this is in the one company where every tag team can't ever get along and is always fighting.
But somehow during the competition where you're not really on the same team as your teammate, there's no friction at all except for Devon and fucking Pope over there.
Yeah. And the match itself was kind of good. It was obviously the best match of the night. Not that that's saying much.
No,
that is
a low fucking hurdle here tonight. That is a high jump over your kitchen counter.
That'd be kind of hard for me to...
I'm fat and I can't jump. Therefore
over your
it's hard for
footstool.
me.
Okay, there we go.
I don't own a footstool.
Over an invisible line drawn on the floor.
Now you're just reaching. Come on, man.
But yes, by the end of the match, they do the standard everybody hits everybody in succession with signature moves, and it's as exciting as that thing sort of gets. And then Beer Money wins, and Rude wins the points.
Yeah, that ending is pretty much Beer Money's apology to the fans for a shitty match.
Yeah. Rude won with perfect plex, though, so...
Yeah, of all things. How long has he been using that?
Yeah.
In the advance up the points list.
Yeah. And also, notice, this match was the least bad about it. How many matches? Let me count real quick. 1, 2, come on, screen, scroll. 3, 4. 4 matches all night long. No, wait, 5. There was that one I missed. 23 minutes of wrestling in 2 hours.
And this is the third match we've gone over so far.
Yeah.
So that means the second hour is more talking.
Longest match of the night is 6 minutes.
That's really, really fucking dumb.
TNA's longest match is the length of a WWE Divas match.
Because wrestling matters.
Yeah. Well, let's not go overboard. There have been plenty of Divas matches that are like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but, I mean, this week.
And one thing I noticed, a lot of phoned-in performances here tonight. A lot of people just looking unenthusiastic, going through the motions. I saw a lot of arm drags. And one thing with modern wrestling, when you see people like, especially the veterans that TNA's got and the X Division guys, when they go out there and throw a bunch of arm drags, that is their way of saying, I am on fucking autopilot. I don't care. Just let me cash my paycheck and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
A lot of stalling, too, in a lot of these matches.
And knowing TNA, that paycheck's not going to be that large.
According to Jimmy Yang, they bounce.
And Jingus, I don't blame you for stalling, because the next segment that we get is Kurt Angle talking about winning the belt and his reasons for it. Yay!
And this turns out into one of those beautiful storylines where they basically retcon a previous storyline and pull something completely out of their ass. It's as if Kurt Angle just says, okay, now I'm a violent Buddhist werewolf. That's my new character.
Yeah.
It's about as ludicrous as what they came up with here.
Yeah.
For those of you who actually have a grip on reality, unlike us because we watched this shit, the whole reason why Kurt Angle did not live up to his promise of having an honorable match, a clean match with Sting, was because it's Dixie Carter's fault. And the reason it's Dixie Carter's fault is because she knew that Karen was cheating on him with Jeff, even though she said that she didn't, and he learned all of this from an informant. What does this have to do with Sting? Why? I don't know. What is
Nothing.
the purpose? This makes no fucking sense at all. And then Kurt Angle leaves. Well, he starts to leave. And, oh, by the way, Angle says that he has to get his integrity back. Yes, because getting all those DUIs is certainly going to help that Angle. And then he walks back up the ramp backwards in the typical heel fashion. Sting comes out with his shitty-looking Joker makeup and black jeans. No glasses this time, though. And he's certainly not smiling. And then he starts to try and hit Angle with a baseball bat, and then out comes Hulk Hogan, knocks him with a chair. Hogan's the informant! Yay! More reason to build towards Sting versus Hogan at Bound for Glory.
Oh, if Rick,
Help me!
Fuck.
Mount Subrick, there is light at the end of the tunnel here. It may not happen because word on the street is Ric Flair's pushing for it to be him that fights Sting instead of Hulk Hogan.
That's slightly less bad.
Slightly.
Yeah.
It's still two old fucks wrestling on a pay-per-view main event in 2011.
Hey, now, Hulk Hogan's not old. He's only 58.
Oh, Ric Flair is 62 or 63.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing wrestling?
But you're missing the point. Hulk Hogan still has to pay full price for movies.
What?
He doesn't get that.
He's Hulk Hogan. He can buy, if he wanted to before the divorce, he could buy a movie theater and just watch the stuff in there.
Yeah, that was before the divorce. This is after. Got to live in the now, man.
Yeah.
The only reason why he's
Live in the now, where we go to like picture
wait.
on girls' private parts on
hold on.
space.
Yeah, one thing I will say one positive thing about this segment, just for a difference. Hulk Hogan still knows how to swing a chair in a manner that looks like it actually hurts, but it's really safe.
He still knows how to tie a do-rag on.
Oh, yeah, of course. He'll have one in the coffin. Come on.
Speaking of which, his do-rag this week looked a little bit bigger than they have in the past. Like he's trying to cover more area.
It's that
freak.
Oh, he's trying to cranium.
And oh yeah, something. Hang on. Oh fuck, talking about TNA. One thing I noticed tonight. What was with some of these TNA commercials? There or commercials with TNA guys in them that were airing. I don't know if you guys got the same thing in your area, but I saw one which is this shitty preview for new TNA merchandise with Don West. Like, it looked like a Sears commercial.
Yeah, I saw
And the
that.
other one was even worse. It was some auto insurance commercial with a bunch of the guys slamming each other in the ring.
Yeah.
It was shot on such cheap video. Just looked like such a locally produced $10 piece of crap.
It was shot on Shidio.
Yeah,
It
I
was.
was
I was
astounded
just about
that
to
they
say
actually
that.
allowed this to air on national television.
It was literally the quality of a cheap-ass local, like, I'm Crazy Eddie, and our prices are so low, I'm crazy kind of commercial.
It really looked like a local car commercial.
Because these guys are, like, hitting each other and having a fucking battle royal in a wrestling ring while they're doing a sales pitch for auto insurance.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck does that
Do
have
they
to do with
make any
auto
car?
insurance?
Do they make any car-related wrestling puns?
No.
Yeah, no, it's something like Crimson knocks a guy over and says, "Don't worry about that." And when I'm driving, I don't worry about deductibles because so-and-so auto insurance.
Yeah, it's like if you were having a shoehorned conversation about auto insurance at work in an office, except set in a wrestling ring.
I guess this is what wrestlers do. I guess this is what wrestlers do when they stand around the water tower.
You mean the water cooler?
Water cooler, whatever. I don't work at an office.
Well, they probably
don't
have
know
water
this stuff.
tower up on top of Universal Studios.
It's like someone wrote a script for a straight shooting auto insurance commercial. It's like, all right, this is what I want in my insurance commercial. I want, the person selling this stuff to just say, we've got the lowest deductibles. You don't have to worry when you drive with us. Blah blah blah. That's just a really simple, basic thing. Just see, just something straight and simple. Someone else comes and goes, what'd be great with this? Let's put it in a wrestling ring. Catch people's attention. What the fuck?
The next.
It's funny how TNA finally found
Let us move on.
To sponsor them.
Yeah.
Yes. Let us move on, please. The next match that we have.
Trying to go national.
ODB and Jackie, who apparently are still not signed despite wrestling every week.
Yeah.
Against Tara and the now first named Brooke Tessmacher.
Not to be confused.
Why give her a first name now? I don't know.
Because her name in in WWE, she went by Brooke, so.
Yeah.
And I think it's her real
Well,
name.
that's her real
so they
name,
can't
too.
get her out.
Brooke Adams.
It's a little close to Tracy Brooks, but, whatever. Let's roll.
Or Brooke Hogan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but the match itself was mediocre. I mean, it is, of course, Miss Tessmacher wrestling. And then she does probably the most, but near the end, she does probably the most gratuitous stink face ever. She does Umaga's butt head thing, whatever the hell that was called.
Oh, she does that all the time.
But then
she does a lap dance stink face.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, she humps the woman. She humps ODB's face with her ass.
Yeah.
And again, if any one of us was in that wrestling ring wrestling her, it would be like, yay.
It's like that weird booty shake thing Eve did a couple weeks ago, except that was a stink face.
The match was mediocre, as I said. Tara and Ms. Tessmacher win. Woohoo! The one gimmick in the match was that ODB and Jackie kept continually trying to stop each other from doing anything illegal since they were still trying to get a contract. And then at the end, ODB and Jackie shake Tessmacher and Tara's hands, and they leave. Woohoo!
And a couple things I don't understand about that. First of all, some of the stuff they were stopping each other from doing, like, if it weren't for the commentators explaining all of this, the live crowd must have had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Just like, wait, why are these people trying to stop each other from attacking their opponents?
Because there was no
a lot of it wasn't
for this that explained this.
A lot of it wasn't even cheating. A lot of it was like she goes to throw a punch and her partner stops her.
Yeah.
Just shit like that.
And I'm sorry, this just bugs me about Tessmacher. Even back when she was in ECW, her look always just bugged me. It was just, she has no curves at all. She's just the stereotypical really thin thing, the kind of wrestler that Natalya and Beth Phoenix would want to fucking cremate. And she's got this big fucking huge ass hair on top of her head that I don't get it. What the fuck is up with this look?
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the sexy one.
Well, when she has no clothes on, she is sexy.
You're still in high school, man. You don't...
I'm out of high school. I left.
I'm sorry.
I graduated
I was in
in
college.
June.
I'm just saying, like, what the fuck?
I still think Jackie looks okay. I mean...
Oh, okay.
Isn't she in her high 40s now or something?
I rest my case about neither of you having taste.
I don't know. I'm not even going to try and justify it. We'll just go on an even bigger tangent.
Well, on the one hand, someone thinks Jackie is cute. On the other hand, someone thinks you can't be cute in your high 40s. Jingus, you got anything?
Anyway, the next thing that happens is all the X Division guys are in Eric Bischoff's office. No doubt this will be the only TV coverage they get for the next 4 months. And Eric Bischoff says that this is going to be not...
I mean, a couple of them were literally, wait, who's that guy?
But then he says that the X Division, because they had great performances at the pay-per-view and because Abyss failed, Eric Bischoff completely decimates the original reason for the X Division by adding a weight limit.
So apparently the X Division is about weight limits.
Yeah.
Yes.
And magically, it's the same
limits.
weight limit as the WWE Cruiserweight title.
Exactly. I thought that was 220. There was the angle with Matt Hardy going trying to get under 220.
I thought it was 225.
I'm pretty sure it was 220.
I don't know. We could look that up.
Oh well. Regardless, he says that next week there will all be a gauntlet match to determine who gets the next shot at the Wizard of Odd, Brian Kendrick. I'm pretty sure that they're going to bill him as that next week.
Okay, it was 215 pounds. 215.
Oh. Odd. Well, regardless.
Well,
Austin, Aries... Go.
Seems like the Wizard of Oz has really gotten a lot of mileage in wrestling. You have Kevin Nash's Oz, you have the Wizard of Oz, and now we have the Wizard of Odd.
The Wizard of Odd. What? The Wizard of Oz.
The
Mizark. For all we know, the next character will be the Mizark of Oz.
Mark Henry?
It could happen.
Yes. Mr. Wizard, I want to know why your pecs go all the way around to your back like that.
That would be X-Pac doing a Mark Henry impression, doing a Wizard of Oz impression.
It could be worse. It could be Viscera.
You need a mighty big curtain for that shit. And a giant green glowing face.
But then, after everyone leaves, Austin Aries says that he and Bischoff are a lot alike. Yes, Austin Aries, you certainly know how to blow your bank account. You joined TNA. He says that he doesn't like these guys any more than Bischoff does. Going to make this a division that Bischoff can be proud of. He says that he just wants to talk to Aries, blah blah blah. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
So wait. He calls everyone into his office just to kick everyone but Aries out of his office.
Yeah.
It was weight limit, gauntlet match, leave.
And there are a bunch of guys in there that we didn't recognize.
It's moments like this that I wish we recorded our visual reaction, like our facial reactions to this stuff, because
you won't be able to see our faces; they'll all be buried in our palms.
I'm just perplexed.
It's really hard to talk around the mouth of this gun barrel.
Wow, that was dark. Moving on. We're going from extremely dark jokes to extremely racist segment. All right. I'm excited.
Jeff and Terry Jeff and Karen Jarrett, the King and Queen of Mexico, and they come out. Karen's looking like a Mexican fiesta girl, complete with a flower in her hair. Jeff has a poncho on, a multicolored mariachi poncho nonetheless, and he's got a sombrero. And he says that, he single-handedly, oh, by the way, he's the AAA World Heavyweight Champion right now.
Which they finally mentioned the name of that company.
Yes. But then he says that he single-handedly took down the biggest wrestling company in Mexico. He says someone told him to learn the intricacies of the Hispanic culture, and he will be endorsed by all Mexicans. Yeah, it's all endorsed by Mexicans. Oh my! So that the Immortal World title will be taken seriously. He says, I've gone around to all the Mexican cities, from Guadalajara to Veracruz to Houston to Miami to San Juan, and he found a couple of Mexicans to endorse him, 2 janitors named Jose and Jose B.
Landscapers. Jose and Jose B. Yes.
See, if there's any one thing I cannot fault Jeff Jarrett on, it's that in the past he has shown that he can attempt and sometimes succeed to take incredibly stupid things and make them entertaining. He did that with the Double J gimmick. He is horrendously failing with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've never heard that Hose B joke anywhere before.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler.
It was funny the first time, but then he said the Hose B probably 8 times in this whole segment.
And the way they had these guys acting too when they came out, it was almost like they were directed to act like you're stupid because you don't know how to speak English. You're gullible and naive and stupid because you don't know how to speak English. Which, I'm sorry, but that's a fucking terrible message to convey. Even if they ultimately get the better of these guys, they still act that way even after they've gotten the better of Jarrett.
And actually, when I was watching this, the stream that I had watched it on, I don't know if it was just that or if it was for real, but when they came out first, the landscapers, I thought they were just 2 white guys. No,
they had dark complexions, but yeah, the fact that you got them walking out dressed like that, god damn, just telegraph.
And then
how much you don't give a shit about people. Like,
at one point, those were for a moment. I wondered, wait, is that the Spanish announce team? But it wasn't. I mean, they had them playing the characters of just these 2 random clueless dudes who'd never been on television before and didn't know like which way to go and where to look and that kind of thing. And then they did this moment where Jeff's like, "No, guys, first of all, let me turn you around here, face the hard cam," and he said something along the lines of, "You're just like a lot of other young wrestlers in this company who don't know how to do that."
Yeah.
Yeah, complaining about the shitty young talent in your own company is...
Way to bury that shit.
Oh, actually, one thing that I forgot relating to that from the Kurt Angle segment, he says that because of all that happened with him and Dixie Carter, he's going to single-handedly take out all the young talent in TNA until he is the only one left.
Yeah.
He'll wrestle himself and referee the match. Don't sit in the front row without Gallagher spray protection.
And then the Jose and Jose B, Jeff Jarrett is trying to get them to proclaim Jeff Jarrett as the King of Mexico. Jose says K, and he just says K over and over again, because that's all that Hispanics know how to say, right?
Well, that's all that Vince Russo knows what they say. That's the extent of his Spanish.
That and whatever he saw in a Taco Bell commercial.
Yo quiero Taco Bell indeed.
Anyway, these guys, before we get to that, first of all, is his character supposed to be so apparently completely retarded that he actually thinks that random Mexican people will proclaim him the King of Mexico? Because that appears to be the message of this segment. He is such a fucking dumbass that he grabbed the first Hispanic people he could find, didn't say a word to them before bringing them out to the ring, and then expected them to literally go, "Oh yes, Jared, he awesome dude."
Yes, but then that doesn't necessarily go right for him because the two landscapers look at the Spanish announce table and they start marking out for Hector Guerrero.
Before that, we get about 3 minutes solid of K, no, J, Dose J, Devil J, haha.
Because this entire segment went literally 15 minutes if it was anything at all. It was never ending. And as soon as they announced it, I just had the feeling, oh God, this is one of those fucking so-called comedic segments where the heel brags about himself for 15 minutes straight, isn't it? And yeah, it was.
One thing I'm dying to know is that title, is that like from a legitimate organization or is that some shit?
Yeah, it's from AAA.
Oh,
AAA
fuck.
Heavyweight belt, so that's for real.
Yeah,
AAA is lying down for this shit?
AAA's done a few talent exchange things with TNA over the years. Well, TNA will send some guys down periodically to work some angles there.
Oh. They're regretting it now.
Yeah, just like
but the deal here is that
just like the owner of AAA, I'm sitting here saying I picked a hell of a week to quit smoking.
Conan's in charge is the one, and it's kind of surprising that he'd want to work with TNA at all again. But what the deal is because AAA's big competitor down there, CMLL, has a crossover talent deal with New Japan. Yeah. And AAA was sitting there with thumbs up their asses crossover deal with nobody. Nobody else in Japan's a big enough deal to bother crossing over with, except for maybe Dragon Gate, and I don't think they're interested. So they had to work with somebody who was seen as a relatively big deal in wrestling. ROH probably wasn't going to do it. WWE definitely wasn't going to do it. TNA was the last people they had they could work with.
Yeah.
Then we get Jose and Jose B. They start marking out for Hector. And the thing here that I noticed is that they break character and start talking a little bit in English.
Oops.
He's like, one of them says, "That is Hector, amigo, yay!" Then he lists off all the names of the Guerreros. Yay for
and Hector,
pops.
Yeah, and by the way, the Spanish announce table is like 1.5 miles away from the ring. And somehow, way up there in the nosebleed section, they managed to spot the one guy that... Come on, how many people mark out when they see Hector Guerrero, honestly?
It's the Gabbardikuka!
He listed Chavo, for God's sakes.
That's just it.
Well, he listed
they really hammed up the Guerrero part, not the Hector part. So.
And legitimately, Eddie's dad, Gory, was one of the biggest stars in Mexican wrestling.
Yeah.
He wasn't as big as El Santo, but he was close. Well, no, he wasn't close. Nobody else was close to El Santo. He was down there with Mil Mascaris on the very next level down.
He was kind of like the Roddy Piper to Santos Hogan.
Yeah, basically. Good call.
So,
but then
still nothing to show.
One of them gets up.
Be pissed off about at all.
But then one of them, I completely forget who, because they don't necessarily make any distinction who Jose and Jose B are.
Matter.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But then one of them gets up in Jeff Jarrett's face. Jeff Jarrett smacks the shit out of both of them. Hector takes a surprisingly short amount of time to run from up all the way in the stands to down to the ring, gets the chair, and then Jeff immediately takes a powder and runs away.
Yeah, Hector can still run, which is, good. I'm glad the poor old guy can still move. He's got to be, maybe 50, maybe 60 by now.
Yeah,
but he looks every fucking minute of his life in terms of how old he looks facially. Yeah. It's just kind of odd to see Jeff running away from this. Clearly, this guy is very close to getting, free breakfast at Denny's.
Yeah. He's 57 now.
Yeah, okay. And he looks older than most other 57-year-olds.
Yeah, 1954, that's 57. I'm doing my math right.
Yes. Yeah. But then we get the segment that the other segment everyone's waiting for, Eric Young searching Hollywood for Scott Baio.
Mm-hmm.
So we follow up the worst with the best, which is really not a bad way to do it. It's just when you're bad as that, fucking bad. And your best,
and your best
is something you have to go look on the internet to see the rest of.
Yeah,
low
and
for Jeff Jarrett standards.
yeah. No, Jeff doing comedy is usually a hell of a lot funnier than that. That was maybe the single worst segment I've seen on Impact this whole year.
I could definitely see where Jeff Jarrett is a funny-ass comedy wrestler, but not with this writing team.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier. Jeff at times is able to take completely idiotic subject matter and make it funny. Like the Double J country singer. He took that and he made it sort of work. And he made it sort of funny at the same time.
And he made this phrase slack nuts popular.
Yes, exactly. He made
Don't piss me off.
Nuts popular.
Hey, shut up, slap nuts.
You mean all that was really funny, but this was just fucking horrible.
It was brutal. Why are we still on it? We have Eric Young next. So much more bearable.
Yeah.
Mm. And he ends up basically not doing anything. He's just kind of wandering around the sidewalk and mumbling.
The two things of note that he does. One, he tries to leap over a celebrity's gated house or whatever, and he gets barked away by a dog, and he's afraid of the dog. And then he tries to go to the intercom thing, like that the security guards talk through, and the security guards, you need to leave the premises, and he sort of, just walks away.
Yeah, really, if you want to see the segment, go look on TNA's website and check it out. It's actually worth checking out.
Apparently they have, director's cuts or something of these promos on their website.
Well,
and we get a coming soon.
TV is relegated to being a commercial for.
Yeah, one other thing before the coming soon. The only other thing of note that he does in the whole segment. Oh, by the way, when I was hearing this segment, I thought that he was saying Bale, like Christian Bale.
No, Scott Bale.
Yeah, but
yeah,
Scott Baio. Yeah, but the other thing that he does is that he tries to get a star map, and he doesn't have any money. So he exchanges the World Heavyweight title for it.
Subrick. They can see this online. We don't need to cover
it. Yeah. Why give TNA the internet traffic, though?
Why not?
Go to Blip. Watch it there.
Okay, yeah.
Their internet traffic has to be, maybe a step or two below what the DarkMatch gets in terms of page hits. I mean, come on.
They get
we made a whole 20. God damn it!
But no, the thing here which infuriates me, we got a bit of echo here.
I'm not getting any echo. Is it me?
I was hearing it. Hang on, fucking Blip. Check 1, 2. Yeah, it's Stephus.
Oh shit. Okay.
But anyway, the thing which is this at least the second week now that they've shown the coming soon clip of Scott Baio menacing him with a golf club? Because I don't think it's the first time. But either way, it doesn't matter because all of this shit that we see on Impact, all these skits and things, aren't they supposed to be taking place now? Or earlier today? Or something like that? How do we have all this footage in the can of a show which apparently they're doling it out piece by piece, week by week, and it took place a couple of months ago or something like that?
Who knows? I mean, these guys can't even keep straight that, they're not fooling anybody by filming all of their shows once a month and then spacing it out throughout the month. They're trying to pass it off as live.
Yeah.
And then having a fucking fantasy wrestling game for it.
Yeah. And then our next segment is fourth talking segment in a row. So we got a solid, I think in the entire last hour was basically one match and otherwise talking. But Mr. Anderson returns to the Impact Zone. Not only still wearing the same clothing that he wore in his ambulance ride to the emergency room, but still covered in the same blood.
Covered in more blood, actually.
Yeah, suspiciously not real blood-looking blood. This extra new blood.
He still has the shit dripping from his head. Wouldn't they have cleaned that?
Yeah.
That means in the period of 1 hour and 30 minutes, he made it from the impact zone to a hospital, got checked out at the hospital, released from the hospital, and got a ride back to the impact zone.
Yeah, released with no treatment of his wounds whatsoever.
And actually, he didn't even come into the impact zone. He came out of one of the medical trailers.
Did he just say, "Hey, doctor, holy crap, what is that behind you?" and then sneak away?
What did he do, jump out of the back of the ambulance while they're at a stoplight?
He's like Toto jumping out of Miss Gulch's basket in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. He
But
waited
then he
until they
goes
slowed
into
down the
Immortals-
cruising speed before he jumped out.
Then he goes into Immortal's trailer. He tries to go after Bully Ray. He wraps a chain around his hand. Gunner blindsides him. And then they turn the camera away while we hear Anderson get whipped repeatedly with a chain.
Well, we hear the
Damn
lockers.
you, TNA. Why couldn't we have seen this?
We hear the lockers get whipped repeatedly with a chain.
Because you know what I like in my wrestling show is to not see the wrestling.
Yeah, and what was his brilliant idea for walking back here wounded and stumbling and into the locker room of the guys who just beat him up?
And
He didn't even have a weapon.
what
Then
was
there's
the point of even having this segment if it was just going to end in him getting beat down when we already saw that?
Again, yeah. I mean, he didn't have a what was he expecting going to confront the
What's
six
the
guys who
advancement
already
here?
kicked his ass tonight?
See, having him get beat up at the beginning of the show and taken off in an ambulance, that's actually suspenseful. That's kind of cool. Having him come back at the end of the night and get beat up again, the fuck is the point? All you've shown is that Anderson is a dumbass who cannot handle only getting beat up once.
A, he's stupid. B, the guys beating him up must be real pussies because they didn't get it right the first time.
And C, Anderson is useless because all he ever does is get the shit kicked out of him.
It was only two guys beating him up the second time, too. It was only Bully Ray and Gunner.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
Not to mention that, you know, when you look at his wrestling resume, doesn't necessarily speak well when the only two people that he's lost the world title to is a drug addict and an old man.
Yeah. Well, we try to
Then we
ignore
get
that
the
for the sake
final
of
match.
it's not.
We get the final match of the night. Matt Morgan on commentary. A Bound for Glory series. It is Crimson versus Gunner versus Bubba Ray versus Scott Steiner. Crimson
Did
and
anyone
Gunner
get
in
a
match
serious?
together.
Did anyone get a serious Limp Bizkit Fred Durst kind of feel when Bubba Ray talked into the camera and turned it away right before they beat up Anderson? Because I seriously got that vibe. Like, this is such douchebaggery of a production, and you're an asshole.
Well, I personally thought it was bad cinematography, but that's just me.
That too. Yeah, there was plenty of door frame tonight, and some window blind also for a change.
Oh, they've expanded their repertoire.
I'll get to the window blinds later.
Yeah.
So this last match, it's basically a 3-on-1 handicap match. And did any of the heels in Immortal ever hit each other? I don't remember ever seeing that.
I don't think so.
So basically,
I think it was just
Crimson
them
beats-
getting up on him.
Crimson basically beats the shit out of Scott Steiner and two other guys by himself and wins.
And then immediately after Crimson wins, Kurt Angle comes out. Oh, but I must add something. Matt Morgan is fucking horrible as a commentator.
Yeah, he was on there again, and this is now 3 out of 5 matches tonight had a guest commentator, different one every time. God, they're desperate for ways. Fire some fucking people, man. I mean, at this point, it's like just clean off some of the roster because you can only get like 50% of them onto the show every week.
Mm.
Even having multiple tag matches and multiple man matches and guest commentators and all that shit.
Is Matt Morgan injured now?
Apparently.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's
having a abdominal surgery or something.
Pectoral, I think.
And his name is still up.
Which means one of the saddest things possible when Samoa Joe is losing in the Bound for Glory series to a man that was injured and was taken out of it.
And
how many pectoral injuries is this for this guy?
I think
He's had a few.
3 or 4.
Is it always on the same side, or is it both of them?
Maybe it's alternating, like
maybe we should ask his girlfriend Annie Bollock.
And her sister, Kay Fabe.
Yeah.
But, Tish.
Anyway, Kurt Angle runs out, beats the crap out of Crimson, takes off his knee brace, and Taz on commentary is trying to, like, talk to you like this thing is fucking RoboCop's leg, is what this knee brace is that he's hitting. Oh, that thing's made out of metal, bro, it's heavy! And it is clearly this plastic fucking knee brace, which is, like, flimsier than the one Stone Cold used to wear. And Angle is kind of hitting him with these weenie shots with it. It just doesn't look like it hurts at all.
And actually, when Kurt Angle was smacking the shit out of Crimson, Matt Morgan, in the most monotone voice I'd heard in a very long time, says something to the degree of, "Wow, I can't believe what's happening out here. Crimson's getting really hurt."
And, okay, Angle and Crimson have precisely nothing to do with each other. They've never wrestled, they've never spoken to each other, as far as I can remember. Why is Angle attacking Crimson? Is he a full-fledged official member of Immortal now? Or I thought he was just mad at staying in friends with Hogan.
Well, the story I'm getting is...
He said in his promo earlier that his main goal now was to take out all the young guys so that he would be the only one left.
And Crimson, I guess, constitutes as a young guy.
Dude, take out all the young guys in this company so he's the only one left? Dude, check the median fucking age of the people in the ring in this place.
Like reverse legend killer.
Half of them are older than you.
I'm pretty sure, I really, really hope that his taking out the young guys does not lead to another failed attempt at bringing back the main event Mafia, because it won't work. It didn't work the first time.
Yeah, but it's still
this show
weird
kind
to see, like, if he's not supposed to be an Immortal, to have him helping out Immortal twice, different members of Immortal, on the same night.
Especially, he contradicts himself in his promo, in his early promo. He says, "This is not about me joining the dark side," and then he goes with Hogan and joins the dark side.
Yeah.
That's the fucking dark side.
Is his allegiance just to Hulk Hogan? Is his allegiance to Immortal? The real question is, who cares? This show is over. What gets more screen time? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the problem with Russo is so much of his writing is based on mysteries, and the people want to know where this is going, and so it's constantly like, who's going to turn on who? Who will be the betrayer here? God, he has some fucking issues with trust and loyalty, because every fucking one of his shows always has multiple angles on it where someone is stabbing someone else in the back. That, "I thought you were my friend, man." I mean, it happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Insert the sound clip of Batista shouting, "You're supposed to be my friend!"
You're supposed to bring balance to the Force!
You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them.
It's almost like Steiner's trying, not Steiner, Russo is trying to write wrestling as if it's a parody of all the worst aspects of soap operas.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to be funny and tongue-in-cheek by, we're making fun of soap operas. And just never lets up.
And it hurts.
Final thoughts. By the way, that was our main event, people, including Crimson, Bully Ray, and Gunner.
And Scott Steiner. Don't forget him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he actually counts as a star.
He held the WCW title after David Arquette. Don't put a lot of stock in him.
Yeah, but people knew who the Steiner brothers were before that. I mean, he's on a different fucking level compared to the other people in the match.
He's better than
the stage
Gunner,
of his career.
Yeah, it's just, and it's not good for.
The only thing anyone cares about in terms of Scott Steiner these days in wrestling is if they give him mic time.
If he's calling someone fat.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on this week's TNA? It sucks.
Yeah, this blue, and they've been kind of, if not stopping the bleeding. They've been slowing it down recently. They'd had a stretch of shows which were better than their usual standards, and then back to this. It's just like right back to the exact same shit we complain about every time. With, let's see, was there interference in every match? Yeah, I do believe there was interference in every single match.
No, not the knockouts match.
Or a beatdown afterwards.
This show made me completely catatonic. Like, ugh.
Awful. Just awful in the exact same ways that TNA, everyone says and knows that TNA has been awful for years now.
They're just trying to do too much, way too much in 2 hours. It's like, slow down, focus on less things.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could say about their positive about this show is, well, they have a better commentary team than SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the only praise I can fucking give them...
So, this time, welcome to this week's edition of What Gets More Screen Time Than Jay Lethal. The word douchebag, as uttered by Cookie, gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Arm drags got... Go ahead.
The window blinds in Eric Bischoff's office on 2 separate occasions got more screen time than Jay Lethal. Especially since for a solid minute, that's all we could see, while Anderson was getting the shit kicked out of him.
No, the walkers were getting the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah. But, let's see, arm drags in practically every match got more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Chavo Guerrero Jr. got more screen time than Jay Lethal.
And he wasn't even on the show.
He was mentioned.
No, that was Chavo Sr. that was mentioned.
Either way, Chavo Guerrero got more screen time.
Yeah. So...
Fine. Crazy Auto commercial wrestling battle royal got more screen time than Jay Lethal. How about that one?
Now you get it.
Yeah.
Now you get it. So that's it for this week's version of the Dark Match. We're all about to go get hammered and watch some actually good wrestling. I'm Subrick.
I'm Jingus.
I'm Digifox.
And I'm Tifus. Good night.
So long.
Luck.